Last lesson, we looked at the conduction system and the cardiac cycle and how they link. What we're going to look at in the next couple of lessons is how does or where does the impulse come from that stimulates this SA node. We know that the heart is capable of increasing or decreasing cardiac output to meet the demands for oxygen made by the working muscles. But the question is, how is the heart regulated to control these changes? The control of the heart involves a series of very complex mechanisms that need simplifying to make them easy to understand, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. All our decisions are made in an area of the brain, and the control of the heart is no different. The part that we are going to be focusing on is this part here, the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata in the brain contains what is known as the cardiac control centre. For short, the CCC. The CCC, or the Cardiac Control Centre, is primarily responsible for regulating the heart, which means working with the conduction and the cardiac cycle. The CCC, or the Cardiac Control Centre, which is located in the medulla oblongata, needs to get a message to the SA node. To get that message from the medulla oblongata to the SA node, it uses the autonomic nervous system, or the ANS. This means it is under involuntary control and consists of sensory and motor nerves from either the sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system. In the autonomic nervous system, there is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And we need to have two of these nervous systems because they do two different jobs. The sympathetic nervous system, when stimulated, releases a neurotransmitter at the SA node to increase the heart rate. The parasympathetic nervous system, when stimulated, releases neurotransmitter at the SA node to decrease the heart rate. So they have two distinct jobs. Quite simply, the CCC initiates the sympathetic or the parasympathetic nervous system to stimulate the SA node, which will either increase or decrease the heart rate. So if we were exercising, the CCC will initiate the sympathetic nervous system to stimulate the SA node to allow the heart rate to increase to ensure the supply of oxygen is efficient for the working muscles. What we will be looking at in our lesson is what stimulates the CCC to make a decision to send information to either the sympathetic or the parasympathetic nervous system.